public, you can see there, publicly funded museum. So of course, no tax incentives are available on the table for this one per se. This is ground up, new construction. And this project was brought to us actually, I told you the last person was the facility manager, the director there, FM guy. This one was from an engineer who was working on the project. And at this point in the project, they were at the conceptual phase. So kind of moving in from the feasibility, they got the capital stacked, and now they're looking, okay, let's kind of tighten up our design. Given the geography there in the middle of Nebraska, the lady came to us and said, all right, what's out there? What's available in this neck of the woods, essentially? So I pulled together that report. I gave her that, you see that soft estimate number right there on the side. That was just kind of, again, based on our historical data of projects similar in size, scope, and function. I pulled together that report. We had a nice about 21 eligible incentives. From there, when I met with that engineer and a couple of her colleagues, we whittled that down to 7. And this is really, again, we see this a lot. It's just the success rate. I was being very candid with her on the phone. I said, okay, these are going to be the top, 5 or so from the utility. And then these are going to be the top 2 funding, financial related incentives that you can go after. And it was really just based on how successul, how feasible is it for the project. I mean, we had enough time. It was still in the conceptual phase of the design. But again, it was just, does it make sense to apply? That's basically the timing and the success rate was big factors in this one. And also, again, given the fact that it's public, being kind of like a nonprofit, public tax dollars, all that kind of stuff, that's something else that can take into consideration for eligibility. So kind of moving over to the right, you can see that we'd applied and successfully we got 37,500. You can see some of the technologies we went after. Again, HVAC, lighting, kind of the quote unquote lower hanging fruit, if you will. Some water heaters and then EV charging stations as well. So we're seeing those on the rise just kind of across the nation. So they were able to tap into that, a little over 37,000 in, again, cash rebates. Those are year 1 cash reimbursements. And then below that, I was actually, even though they were a public entity, we were able to hook them up with certain financial incentives, not necessarily tax related. I guess I should change that. But there was a savings loan for public buildings like this. And then we also were able to tap into a USDA energy efficiency grant, just again, given the geography and kind of the nature of the project. So. That was another one that we, again, came to us through an engineer. We worked through them, presented it to the client, got buy-in, and just kind of chased down those rebate dollars or those incentive dollars for them. So.